I've been walking round and round my nice clean town. I see all these buildings going up, 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 up. It kind of brought me down. Inside there's plants in pots and pictures of waterfalls. Outside there's walls and walls and walls and walls and walls and walls and walls. Cameras on one and cameras on another. Big Brother was watching me, poor Big Brother. The autumn sun was setting and my spirits were too. Under these bright street lights, you see, there's nothing to do. I slouched to the park, but it was gone 5 o'clock and that's about the time the public park gets locked. But there were women everywhere. They were smiling at me on billboards and on shop fronts and on magazines. They were selling detergents and plastic goods. I had enough to head for the woods. Maybe with the owls and squirrels might be some place to belong. But oh, what a surprise, the woods were gone. Some old lady slipped on wet leaves and she grazed both her knees, so then the men in thick coats, they had to cut down all the trees. They laid down paving stones instead in a hopscotch pattern. Some kids that did play hopscotch, but their mum screamed at them, "Get in right now, it's not safe out. There are gangs and crooks and perverts lurking all about." They hustled the kids inside and they were scowling at me. "Get in right now, watch Neighbours on TV, slam." So anyway, I knew I'd best not loiter long, not with mums on phones to policemen who might soon be along. I zipped up my coat, I shivered away. The sun, it was gone, I'd done nothing with the day. Freezing, fretting, I saw some teenagers on a wall. They looked as lost as me, they looked fed up with it all. I stepped a little their way, thinking to have a word, but they were text messaging each other, I could not be heard. Right then I decided there's only one thing left to do. I'll strap a bomb onto my back, I'll blow up the lights of you. I swear I was serious, I was all set for hell. And then I caught a whiff of just this fucking awful smell. I tell you, it was rank, it was vomity decay. But I couldn't help but notice I was starting to sway to that skanky, skunky rhythm, that wrenching beat. I was nodding my head, I was tapping my feet. It was a sewage rock rocking my brain. I jumped into the gutter, I jumped down the drain. Where my head, it was spinning all the stench and grot. I was ankle deep and I don't like to think what. A slurpy stream through which I was wading. Narrow sticky walls around me, reverberating, because that sewage rock was louder here and getting louder still. My insides wanted out. Yeah, I was feeling kind of ill, but I could see quite clearly there were flickering fires. Torched computers and flaming car tyres lit up the queasy tubers, and I could see it was packed, not just with slugs and beetles and toads and rats. There were stray cats, stray dogs, stray babies too. I guess their first words must have been, nah, fuck you. Some of those kids, they had hammers and they smashed the screens of old TVs. That's where I heard those TVs scream. Others sat bashing on tin cans with chicken bones, or using a cymbal, some smashed up old phones, or twanging a single string of some guitar they found, as all the while the cats and dogs, they danced around. And I was bopping too. I was finding my rhythm, and as the cats and dogs splashed sets, I was splashing with them. But then I stopped dead. I was embarrassed to see some old guy squatting in the midst of all this, staring at me. He stood up straight. He was twice my size. He had one tooth in his mouth and cobwebs in his eyes. He was thin as anything. His ears were mostly chewed away. I was getting to feel nervous. He was stepping my way. He wore 3/4 of a top hat and a kipper-bone tie. He wore a mangy black cloak trailing in the slime. He wore an ill-fitting shirt. It was a patchwork of rags, crusty magazine fragments and discarded price tags. And as he got closer, something jangled on his belt. All his keys, they dangled. They were keys for locked doors that had long since been replaced. He was getting nearer and nearer. He was getting in my face. He wore drainpipe trousers and a single shoe. In one withered hand he twirled a snooker cue. In the other was a bag of what I later found to be what they use down here as currency. Toenail clippings when it's cheaper than cash. But my legs had frozen stiff, my face had turned to ash. This manky lanky freak, he reached me, he was right here. I was rocking to the music but rolling with a fear. He started to speak, he got as far as May. But his breath, it was so hideous that I fainted dead away. I came to sometime later, soaked in filth, but pleased to see this stumpy Columbus keeping his distance from me, standing by some babies having them back being a pound. He was twirling his snooker cue round and round. He said, "May I introduce myself? May I offer some ID?" I asked him in a daze. I just nodded stupidly, but I swear as long as I live I never will forget this. He said, "I am the king of shit and piss." He said, "Tonight we dine on apple cores and 100-year-old pies. We'll gaze up at the stars from under our brickwork skies. We'll dance the sewage rock, we'll dance right through to the morning, execute anyone who complains, anyone who starts yawning, and then we'll bang our heads against the walls, close our eyes, and thereby get to see the most beautiful sunrise." Well, okay, I said, but I still don't really see who you're or what you, but he interrupted me. "We'll dance the dance that Jesus danced and Hitler danced to, from John O'Groats to Land's End to Timbuktu. I tell you, child, I tell you now, don't laugh. Princess Diana, she came here, I gave her my autograph. I wrote my diary, darling, I plummeted depths with you. She flushed, bright red, she flushed a few other colours too. Presidents and paupers, yeah, they all dance, and how they dance my sewage rock, they could be dancing it now. No matter who you think you are, you gotta agree that deep down you belong. Deep down here with me. Oh, and as for your question, who am I? Well, figure it out, child, go and have a try. Mirror, mirror, all in pieces, but I can still kind of see all the time I've been staring through a glass darkly. The awful truth, I rub your face in it. I am the king of piss and shit.